I am Dr. Ruchit Patel from Department of Cardiovascular and Thoracic Surgery at Even Mehta Institute of Cardiology and Research Center, Ahmedabad. Today I am going to discuss about atrial septal defect that will include its morphology, anatomy, embryological aspects, clinical features, diagnosis and management. Looking at the epidemiology, ASD contributes to 10 to 15% of all congenital heart disease and around one-third of all adult congenital heart disease. It is more common in female with ratio up to raised to 1, and it occurs in every 1.6 babies per every 1000 births. In historical aspects, Da Vinci first described a perforating channel in atrial septum around 700 years back, and first description of ASD was done by Rokitansky, and clinical features described by Bedford in 1941. First successful open surgical repair of ASD was done by Lewis using the surface hypothermia and inflow occlusion method. And using cardiopulmonary bypass for ASD repair was done by John Gibbon in 1953. He used a pump oxygenator for the cardiopulmonary bypass. ASD is the first intracardiac lesion that was successfully managed with this transcatheter techniques. Looking at the embryology, around 6th week of gestation, when this common atrium is divided by this septum primum that grows from the roof of the common atrium towards the endocardial cushions, which forms the future AV valves that will eventually close the septum ostium primum at the AV valve area. And after 8 weeks, there is septum secundum that grows rightwards and downwards from the common atrium to close out the ostium primum that is formed by the resorption of the caudal portion of the septum primum. So there is this septal defect is left at this upper part of the septum primum, that is called ostium secundum. Eventually this septum secundum will form a flap-like valve near the septum secundum that will form the foramen ovale in the fetal life. Anatomical classification depends on the location of the defect. Most common is the ostium secundum ASD, that is at the near the fossa ovalis region. There may be single or multiple defects in the fossa ovalis. Around 3/4 of the defects are ostium secundum type. The next most common is ostium primum type, that is associated with AV canal defects, around 50% of cases. Then sinus venous defect occurs near the entry of either superior vena cava or inferior vena cava. Least common type is the coronary sinus ASD, that is near the opening of coronary sinus and associated with unroofing of coronary sinus. And patent foramen ovale is found in around 30% in normal population. Etiologically, it may be due to excessive resorption of the septum primum or may be due to defective development of the septum secundum. It has led to formation of large foramen ovale that is unlikely to be closed after birth. In cases of AV canal defect, then there is incomplete fusion of septum primum with endocardial cushion defect occurs that leads to ostium primum ASD. There is usually anterior septal leaflet of mitral valve is displaced, with commonly there is cleft in the mitral valve. These ostium primum ASDs are usually large and non-restrictive. Sinus venosus ASD occurs due to abnormal fusion between the embryological sinus venosus and the atrium. It is usually associated with anomalous connection of the pulmonary veins. Of this, 90% are on the right side and 7% are on the left side. This anomalous drainage can be near the right atrium or maybe at the superior vena cava or the inferior vena cava. More commonly, it is near the entry of superior vena cava or SVC-RA junction, around 3/4 of cases. So there is right superior pulmonary vein anomalous connection is present. Inferior vena cava type is with PAPVC of right inferior pulmonary is rare. Coronary sinus ASD, it is the rarest type of ASDs. They are associated with unroofing of coronary sinus, and there is persistent left superior vena cava which drains into the left atrium. It is usually diagnosed by dilated coronary sinus on echo. Further confirmation can be done by injecting a contrast agent into the left upper extremity. So there is opacification of coronary sinus is preceding the right atrial opacification. There is family predisposition found, particularly in the northern European countries. There is also a syndrome of familial ASD with prolonged AV conduction, in which there is a autosomal dominant trait with higher penetration. But it is unlikely to be associated with skeletal deformities, unlikely than the Holt-Oral syndrome. Genetical syndrome associated with ASD includes the vectoral, followed by Down syndrome. It is usually associated with AV canal defect. Noonan syndrome is usually associated with pulmonary stenosis with ASD. Other cardiac lesion associated with ASD, it can be part of any congenital heart anomaly, but it is obligatory in cases of tricuspid atresia, TOPVC and mitral atresia. If patient is early symptomatic in cases of ASD, always look for the associated pulmonary stenosis or maybe anomalous pulmonary venous connection or maybe associated VSD or PDA. Rare association is found with mitral stenosis, that may be a part of Guttman-Baker syndrome. On secondary, there can be mitral prolapse or tricuspid regurgitation occurs due to physiological changes associated with ASD. Physiological consequences of this septal defect is determined by size of the defect, compliance of the ventricles, and relative resistance in the pulmonary or systemic circulation. So at birth, when baby cries, the lungs expand. So there is decrease in pulmonary vascular resistance. That leads to right side pressure fall, which will allow the blood flow through the lungs, and that will return into the left atrium, increasing the left atrial pressure. So that septum primum will fuse with the septum secundum to effectively close the foramen oval. Factors which favor to left right shunt after birth are: right heart is more capacious, more distensible. Tricuspid wall is larger in annulus and more capacious, and as this pulmonary vascular resistance fall, RV muscle growth is less rapid than the left ventricle due to decrease in the afterload, and there is decrease in PVR will lead to increase in RV stroke volume. As the person grows, there will LV become less distensible because of there is secondary loss of coronary reserve and there is hypertension. This long-standing volume overall lead to changes in the pulmonary artery wall, leading to pulmonary artery hypertension. Pulmonary artery hypertension is unlikely to be present before 40 years of age in cases of isolated ASD. It is more commonly found in female and those with living at higher altitude or may be associated with Down syndrome. Significant elevation in PA pressure leads to reversal of shunt, that means right to left shunt, leading to Eisenmenger syndrome. So patient with pulmonary vascular resistance below 7 Wood units per meter square, surgery is still advised. In cases of higher borderline total pulmonary vascular resistance, systemic arterial saturation is a good predictor of surgical outcomes. Patients are usually asymptomatic until the third or fourth decade of their life. In cases of children, there may be recurrent respiratory tract infection. Look for associated lesion as well. As the person advances per age, there may be symptoms of fatigue and breathlessness on exertion because there is left to right shunt with decreasing cardiac output. Atrial arrhythmias occurs with enlargement of right atrium and right ventricle because activation of latent pacemakers lead to activation of the re-entrant circuits. That patient may present with palpitation also. In cases of PFO, there is chances of paradoxical embolism or symptoms of stroke. There may be history of migraine or decompression sickness. If a patient is present with cyanosis in isolated ASD, always rule out that there is large eustachian valve in inferior vena cava that is diverting the blood from IVC into the LA, or there may be sinus venous ASD with overriding of SVC over the ASD that leads to direction of the SVC flow into the left atrium, or maybe coronary sinus with persistent LSVC may be there. And in cases of late presentation, there may be Eisenmenger syndrome due to increasing pulmonary vascular resistance. On clinical examination, there is presence of left parasternal lift that suggests of right ventricle hypertrophy and dilation. There is wide fixed split S2 is present because already RV is volume overloaded, so it is not able to accommodate further volume during the inspiration. And there is systolic ejection murmur can present in second left intercostal space, suggestive of physiological pulmonary stenosis. Similarly, there may be mixed diastolic rumble across the tricuspid wall is there. On chest X-ray, features suggestive of cardiomegaly, particularly right atrium, right enlargement, and prominent pulmonary vascular markings are there. ECG shows right ventricle hypertrophy and right atrial defect or right axis deviation, except in cases of ostium primum ASD, there is left axis deviation is because of the posterior displacement of the AV node. Then Eisenmenger syndrome. In cases of late presentation, because there is shunt reversal because of this pulmonary vascular resistance is higher than the 12 or 8 more than 10 units, that led to clinically there may be desaturation symptoms such as of central cyanosis, maybe digital clubbing or hemoptysis. On clinical signs, there may be left parasternal lift, it is more prominent, and there is palpable P2 because of pulmonary hypertension with narrow splits. Second heart sound is there. Presence of S4 is there because of increased right atrial pressure, and there is presence of systolic murmur and anti-systolic murmur may be there because of tricuspid or pulmonary regurgitation respectively. Diagnosis usually echo is sufficient for diagnosis in case of ASD. Case study is usually needed when there is a higher pulmonary vascular resistance to look for the reversibility of pulmonary arterial hypertension. PFO is diagnosed by this contrast echo in which agitated saline is injected into the upper extremity vein and look for the contrast in the right atrium, contrast flow from left atrium to right atrium. In cases of PFO, there will be right to left. Spontaneous closure. It is rarely after 1 year of age, usually occurs within the first 6 months of life, and as per size of the defect, those with more than 8 mm are likely to have spontaneous closure later in the life. Natural history. Neonates with larger isolated ASD, most of them are usually surviving their first year of life. Usually symptomatic isolated ASD becomes symptomatic after third or fourth decade because of increasing and associated pulmonary vascular resistance. Average life expectancy untreated is 40 to 50 years. In 3/4 of the cases, they die by 50 years and 90% by 60 years. Even the asymptomatic adult has decreased aerobic exercise capacity, and in a study by European Heart Survey in 2008, they found that there is precipitous rise in pulmonary vascular resistance and RV dysfunction occurs after 30 years of age. Indication for closure of ASD. Large non-restrictive ASD if less than 25 in cases of symptomatic. For asymptomatic cases, if there is pulmonary to systemic flow ratio is more than 1.5 or echo suggestive of RV volume overload, repairs would be done. Electric closure usually done at the preschool age. In cases of associated pulmonary arterial hypertension, vasodilator therapy challenge is given if pulmonary PVR is less than 7 wood units per meter square, then can be considered for closure of ASD. Maybe fenestration can be kept in the patch. Older is not a contraindication, and there is evidence that supports that there is some mortality and symptomatic benefit for ASD repair except for these arrhythmias. ASD closure is contraindicated when there is irreversible pulmonary hypertension with PVR more than 12 wood units per meter square or with pulmonary to systemic flow ratio less than 1.2:1 despite aggressive vasodilator challenge, and should be avoided in cases of severe LV failure. Pregnancy is a relative contraindication. Management of PFO. On contrast study, PFO is found in around 10 to 15% cases, but at autopsy, the incidence is around 27%. So, in cases of cryptogenic brain stroke and failed drug therapy, PFO closure should be considered. Device closure is preferred until the defect is more than 25 mm in size or cases or device is non suitable. Surgical closure can be through a double continuous suture, or maybe larger ASD can be with Dacron or pericardial patch. In cases of device closure, antiplatelet and anticoagulants are continued for at least 6 months. As nowadays device closure is preferred because of increasing the success rate near 90%, and there is certain advantages of that, avoiding the surgical trauma, prolonged ICU stay, surgical pains, complications. Device available right now are maybe of septal occluder. There may be cribriform devices. In case of higher PVR, we can use this fenestration devices, and there is, in cases of PFO, septal occluder of smaller size are also available. Device closure is contraindicated when there is failure of previous attempt, or there may be common atria with insufficiency at superior or inferior septal rims. It is not feasible in cases of sinus venosus or ostium primum defects, and defects in more than 4 cm in size are not available due to non-availability of these larger devices at the moment. Complications, major complications occurs around in 1.5% cases. That includes device embolization or erosion over the time. There may be stroke or thrombosis at the device level, and there is risk of arterial rupture, artery rupture, or maybe injury to atrium leading to cardiac tamponade or retroperitoneal hematoma. There, in cases of larger devices, there is chances of obstruction at the level of SVC, IVC, or maybe coronary sinus level, or maybe can lead to tricuspid or mitral regurgitation. Late complication includes hematuria due to hemolysis by this device, or maybe arrhythmias. Surgical ASD closure. Before the cardiopulmonary bypass era, there were certain attempts to close the ASD without opening the right atrium. So this is atrial septoplexy technique, in which Bailey and colleagues tried to digitally envision the right atrial appendage into the septal defect and suture placated this atrium with the septal defect. That is atrial septoplexy. And then this is the Sondergaard's external suture plication technique, in which there is circumferential dissection around the septum is done, and there is external bolstering sutures are taken around the septal margins. And this atrial well technique done by Robert Gross, in which under a partial control clamp of this right atrial appendage is opened, and then open end rubber cone is attached to this atrial appendage to form the well, and through which the atrial septal defect is addressed. Surgical management right nowadays usually is done with this cardiopulmonary bypass. Approach is through midline sternotomy, or maybe minimal invasive approach, that may be inframammary incision or through the axillary. Usually normothermic or maybe mild hypothermic bypass is used with antegrade blood cardioplasia to arrest the heart. Closure can be done with direct suture in case it's small ASD, or maybe with a patch using autologous pericardium, or maybe bovine pericardium, or PTFE patch. Autologous pericardium is preferred because easily available, compliant, and durable, and is also cost effective. During closure, the surrounding structure should be anatomy should be confirmed with looking for the surrounding structures that while closing the ASD. That includes in the LA, the posteriorly look for the opening of right upper and inferior pulmonary veins, including the left pulmonary veins also. Inferiorly, look for the Eustachian valve at the lower margin, and similarly at the SVC opening at the upper end. And anteriorly and inferiorly can we look for the coronary sinus also. Superiorly, there is chances of aortic valve torus may be there. Minimal invasive ASD closure is preferred when in particularly young and patient with cosmetic advantages. Usually the incision in the axilla or maybe in the fourth intercostal space below the nipple incision is given, smaller than the routine sternal incisions. Pleural space is entered with the fourth intercostal space sparing the sparatus anterior muscle, and pericardium is opened above the phrenic nerve anteriorly, and right atrium appendage is exposed. Peripheral cannulation used for the minimal invasive coronary ASD surgery, and advantages are smaller incision with less surgical pain, trauma, and early discharge from the hospital and ICU. Coming to sinus venous ASD repair, there is opening of superior sinus venous ASD. There is opening of right upper pulmonary vein near the SVC-RA junction, or maybe highly near the SVC. So here the atrial septal drainage of right upper pulmonary vein is directed into LA through the baffle applied at this through the defect. Patch is applied to divert the right upper pulmonary vein into the left atrium. In cases of higher opening of this right upper pulmonary vein to the SVC, then there is chances of narrowing of this SVC opening into the RA. In these cases, Warden procedure is done. Here the SVC is divided above the opening of right upper pulmonary vein, and the distal stump is overseven. Now this upper pulmonary vein drainage is diverted into the LA through with patch, and SVC is separately anastomotic to atrial appendage with interior augmentation of pericardial patch can be done. Scimitar syndrome. Here there is abnormal drainage of right inferior pulmonary vein or pulmonary veins to the IVC or maybe below the diaphragm into the hepatic veins. The word scimitar is derived from the Turkish sword-like appearance of this anomaly on X-ray or in the angiography. It's like a Turkish sword-like appearance occurs in the X-ray. Management is similar to this sinus venous ASD with directing the blood of drainage of this inferior pulmonary vein into the LA through this pericardial or maybe PTFE patch into the LA. In cases of drainage below the diaphragm, there may need to distally ligate this pulmonary vein and divert the proximal stump with anastomosis to the left atrium. Called triatrium, it is the rarest of type, contributes only 0.1% of congenital heart diseases due to the entrapment of the embryonic common pulmonary vein tissue by the sinus venosus tissue. So there is membranous septation of LA or RA with ASD is there. It is associated maybe anomalous pulmonary venous connection to the vertical vein, maybe coronary sinus. So vertical vein into innominate vein can be there, maybe anterior chamber opening into the right atrium through ASD, or maybe there may be no ASD with gradient across this anterior chamber to LA anastomosis can be there, and there may be anomalous drainage with anterior chamber to right atrium and through ASD into the LA, or maybe through the common pulmonary vein into the inferior vena cava. They usually present with pulmonary congestion. Presentation is like symptoms of pulmonary congestion are there, but progression to pulmonary hypertension is lower than VSD. Surgical management includes resection of this membrane along with closure of the ASD. Thank you.